Hello, we're doing another support VOD review. This is a Platinum Ana player. They've been playing Overwatch since 2016, which I assume makes them old as fuck. They've peaked in Masters at some point, but currently stuck in Plat 2 to 4, apparently, and they are playing Ana in this game. I mean, just off the bat, I guess if you've been playing the game for 10 years, I assume that you're probably older than peak mechanical time, like probably in your late 20s, 30s maybe. But that doesn't hold you back. I mean, I'm 37 and have had like multiple recent seasons in GM and Masters and other roles, as well as like Eternity and shit in Rivals. So age isn't too much of a barrier, as long as you pick characters that are appropriate. So we sort of go AFK for half a second there, which isn't a big deal. Our team comp actually looks really functional. Like you've got really good like synergy between you and Brig and Domina, in my opinion. You've got Genji for a side fire, and you've got Emre for some main DPS action, and then they've got something pretty similar. But I think like Mercy is a little bit of a potential weak link there. I think Malga goes okay into a Domina, in my opinion. It's all about just like baiting out that shield, right? But right, so we throw out a nade and we miss, which is a little bit of a bummer. And we're kind of like scrambling to try and get our team up a bit. In theory, like if you hit that nade, maybe there's some value there. Maybe it helps you gain a little bit more space because it might make the Malga backstep, but probably like it might have bought you like 4 extra meters on the map or something. Probably not super impactful nade. I think like nading now, like once charge is done, is probably like a better option, right? I have a feeling you're gonna try and sleep this. Yeah. I mean, that's probably really like low impact sleep because Malga's already pressing S. He's already backing anyway. But then your team is already also backing a little bit. Like I don't think that it's possible to follow up on this Malga at all. I think he's just gonna get like instantly woken, and you also seem to be really locked in to the tanks as well. Like I think, how long was your Emre low for here? Not that long, I suppose. Still, I wonder if like your positioning is maybe just slightly too far forward there, right? Like, I don't know that your Emre is too far back. Realistically, probably not. So keeping line of sight to him would probably be good. And we also get flanked, which is a bit of a bummer because we have no sleep dart and no nade for the flank. I think from memory, it's the 5-second mark where you can see the enemy team. So we threw out the sleep dart just before that. I think that's right on Flashpoint, but I could be slightly wrong. I'm not sure. Actually, I think it is earlier than that. What I mean by that is maybe like if you know that they have a flanking DPS, like an Anran is guaranteed to be flanking DPS realistically, right? She's probably not going to just attack from main. Might be worth keeping a cooldown, but the fact that the Anran gets on you, you have no cooldowns, and your Brig also doesn't really react and peel for that. That's just a team fight loss right there. I think the main thing you could have improved on there would obviously be like the cooldown usages. I think holding the nade for the Malga's charge in would have been better. And I think not sleeping the Malga who's already backstepping and your team's backstepping anyway. Potentially holding that sleep dart for a little bit more value. Cool, so we're pushing main. Interestingly, like the Emre is taking the side fight and Genji's going main. It's gonna be kind of difficult for you to like adequately support the Emre. Maybe like just for now, like I would try and position here. So like here, just so you can see both of them a little bit because the Domina hasn't walked forwards yet, but you'll need to be really like vigilant of your Domina walking forwards because as soon as they start walking forwards beyond where you are, unfortunately you probably do have to move away from the Emre, line of sight to the Emre. I feel like this though is like, you really want to like see the enemy team, and I get that, but I feel like you know that there's a side fight that's about to happen, and you also know that there's a Malga, so like you're chargeable right now. Like, what's the Malga's health situation? And he's got both supports next to him. If I was the Malga, I think like I'm like really wanting to shift into this right now. To be honest, this looks like a really good shift in. Use your E, but obviously if you have your cooldowns, you can counteract that, right? So like that's your power. I think a platinum Malga is definitely going to charge this. Like I'll bet $50 the Malga charges in the next 3 seconds. Or we'll call it 5 seconds because he just naded him. There it is. And again, I think a really low value nade there. Really low value because he's already backstepping, right? He's already backstepping. So he's already around cover at the point where he's naded. So this Malga is like done ideally what I would have done and try and bait your nade and then go for the charge. Or otherwise just accept that you're going to get naded on the charge, but hope that you can E and heal off of the Domina one way or another. But another really low value cooldown. It's good that you like peel back and give this Emre some healing. I like that. So it goes in, goes for the charge. You sleep. This is a okay sleep because he's obviously like in front of 3 players. But imagine having like a nade for this charge. That would be really good, right? So you're kind of hurt now. I'm just relying on the Inspire passive from Brig. Malga's backstepped again. So Malga's doing a pretty decent job, in my opinion, of like managing his health pool and the in and out cycle. Like he's retaining space, but he's not like feeding, and he's also not feeding crazy amounts of ult charge. This right now is obviously looking like a really good nade if you can get it like... I mean, Domina doesn't really need healing, so just nade yourself and Malga at the same time. And this Malga can potentially be punished here. I think he might be killable, especially because he's behind the barrier, so Juno can't heal him for a few seconds, right? He steps back out. He's got in the Juno pocket. Unfortunately, we missed the nade. We collide with our Domina. All right, so we've just now seen that our Emre is in a lot of trouble in that side fight, right? Like we can see it here, and then we get another glimpse of it in that frame there, and another glimpse here. And this isn't a replay thing. Obviously, you can see him through walls as a support as well. You need to react to this pretty soon. I don't think that this Malga is killable right now. I think he's getting double pocket from both supports. I think Juno's pocketing him from that angle, and Mercy's above. Mercy's damage boosting him, but yeah. So we go for like 1 or 2 more shots. Now we realize, shit, I need to help the Emre. Yeah, I think Emre was savable there. It's not like a horrible decision to try and kill the Malga, who's obviously very low health, but we just have to hope that this like doesn't come back to bite us losing that side fight. All right, Briggs turned back, which is good. All right, Genji's killed the Mercy, so we've actually traded really positively here, and Genji's seemingly done that without any real help or support from you. He might have been getting Brig packs, but Genji's essentially solo killed as far as I can tell. Good sleep. Unfortunately, instantly woken, which was a bit of a shame. I think the Domina did it with like the opening tick of damage. I mean, obviously the Domina's only in Plat, but if someone's sleeping, you would like left click the ground next to them and then flick it onto them for the big damage burst at the end, right? So that's a bit of a shame. I think our positioning is good here. I think we're like feeling really safe and comfortable right now. We do a healing nade, which I mean, we don't need, but Genji just gotten another kill, so I think this fight's pretty much over at this point, unless... No, right, it's 100% over. No one's going to clutch it out now. I mean, I guess like the nade just keeps your team up, but I'd maybe be looking for like more value there. So in the end, there's no punish on that, on sort of letting our Emre die, but still might have been good to react to it just slightly sooner, right? I'm wondering if that nade before that I said missed on the Malga was intended to hit the Domina actually, because now you're going for healing nades a bit more. So we go for like the long range sleep dart. We miss it. I mean, it would have been a super low value sleep dart. At most, I guess maybe it buys your team, depending on what you hit, like a few seconds on the clock, right? I guess we just need to hope. And I feel like there's a team fight that's going to happen in the next like 6 to 10 seconds. So we'll just have to hope that you don't need a sleep dart in the next 6 to 10 seconds. I see a Malga charging and he has ult. So potentially a sleep dart here could be kind of goat. Alright, we nano blade. Oh shit, we just pushed 4 Qs for 2 Qs. That's not ideal. I mean, luckily they also end up wasting the Anran ult at the end, so like the economy is somewhat saved. I think using 4 ults for 2 there could have potentially been a killer for this next fight. but your team kind of clutches it up. I think if you had have had Sleep Dart and you slipped the Malga straight away, maybe your team doesn't use 4 ults, but it is a Plat lobby at the end of the day, so I think like one person pushes Q and then Monkey Brain tells them like I should push Q too. So your team's going that way and it looks like you're going not that way. So I feel like you're trying to tell your team guys they're going under by that ping, but I assume that your team knows that because they're chasing them. So I mean, you're either deciding if you're going with your team or if you're trying to create a crossfire, but assuming that the brig the brig is staying with you. Okay. I mean I don't know, hopefully this works out for your team. Hopefully your team can clutch it out. But at the moment, these 3 players have no healing at all. Because you've gone this way and Brig maybe thinks, well, I should just stay with Anna to protect Anna. So, all right, our Genji's kind of clutching this, isn't he? Wow, Genji's really clutching this. 0 help, 0 heals from the supports, and he just walks in and kills both of their supports. So, well done, Genji. There's a little bit of like indecisiveness there from you. Like, do I follow or do I go for the cross angle? I feel like either one is probably like an acceptable decision. Maybe just need to make the decision slightly earlier, because if Genji wasn't like just the GOAT and just killed 2 supports, I could see a world in which your team loses the 3v5 underground while you're deciding which way to go. And this guy just wastes his ult as well, like after the point's already done, which is incredible. Absolutely phenomenal play. The long range sleep, I felt like you were trying to go for the nade with how you moved across their route, but I think you decided better. Obviously, very, very low value nade where he can just deep-peek around this corner and you would have hit, like you just use both your cooldowns for like 0 value. Even this one, I feel like maybe you're trying to hit the Juno there, I'm not sure, but I feel like even if you do hit the Juno there, like where's your team at? Like it doesn't feel like that would be high value. Like no one's in a position to follow up on that Juno, because the Juno would have been here when you needed her, and then she would have just flown across to here, right, where like nobody can see her. So again, I think we need to like look for a bit more value with these nades. Use it on people. Use it when you think to yourself like, if people shoot this guy's gonna die. I think that's like the best. The best idea, or otherwise like we're getting pushed really hard, I need to use a nade here to slow down the enemy tempo. Like both of those are good options. Like even that Malga engage, I probably wouldn't have like used my cooldowns on that Malga engage either, to be honest, because although your team is like here, I feel like he's just got like double support pocket in that situation, and he could easily just like juke and go this way because he basically charged and landed here, right? So I feel like had you have had the cooldowns, I think I would have seen you use them then. Sorry, annoyingly, your number is the one that brings up the bloody PC stats for me. I can't be bothered unbinding the key. Ooh. What happened there? I mean, I guess a few points. Like you're playing very, very close up to the enemy, right? Like you're playing genuine frontline with your tank through most of this fight, which went well at first. But because you're playing so far forward, and I feel like this is what happened to the Emre on the very first fight of this game, right? You actually can't see anybody on your team other than your tank. So this brig is probably like super savable, right? Super savable. Even here, like a lot of people think like, oh, my tank's hurt, I should heal my tank. Like, what's Dominus health right now? Like 350 or something like that? Like 398, I guess you healed her for 70, so 328. You got to think about it like 328 damage, like there's nothing in the game that's going to kill the Domina in the next like 1 or 2 seconds. Whereas like your Brig is like 125 health or something like that, right? 127. There's multiple things in the game that could like kill the Brig. Brig could walk onto an Emre grenade at the same time the Emre left clicks her, and then she's dead, right? So just because they're 2 half health players doesn't mean that they're equal importance. The person who's most likely to die is always the most important person to heal, right? Or with the exception of if there's like a key win condition, like if someone has like an ult that could potentially just like win the team fight, you might want to pocket them through so that they can get value from the ult. But in this situation, we're definitely like wanting to prioritize the brig, and we're just kind of leaving the brig there. And now the brig's getting pushed obviously by an Anran on the side. We're going for damage. We're trying to shoot into an orbital ray instead of healing our brig who's getting pushed. Maybe we don't know that our brig's getting pushed, but the reason you don't know is because of poor positioning. I feel like this whole fight, you would have been better off playing like around here, to be quite honest. Like, I think even when the Malga charges, you can still get good angles for nades and sleeps. But back here, you've got like a good form of natural cover, and you can actually like rotate side to side because you've got 2 players on the side fight here who have gotten 0 resources from you. Like, I think the brig did get your nade at least, which is good, but like neither of the DPS have gotten a single heal from you this entire fight, which is like not great, because at the end of the day, like, don't get stuck into a loop of like heal botting the tank. Like the tank is a very important piece on the board, and if your tank goes down, obviously it is a lot harder to win the fight. But like the people who like really win team fights are these 2 guys here, taking angles and getting picks and stuff like that. The tank is, especially Dominar, is not really like that heavy pick based. It's just like a slow and steady like attrition, push, take some space, get some damage, hit a good ult. We've already like demonstrated that your Genji is like kind of carrying your team. So it's a bit of a shame that like this entire fight, all you've done is heal a Dominar, probably accidentally heal the brig with a nade, and completely ignore both of your DPS. Even now, that's crazy, dude. You just peeked left and saw both DPS, and there's still no reaction to both of your DPS being critical health. You're going for a sleep on what I assume is a full health Malga, or maybe you're aiming for the Juno. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to look at your DPS. You're completely like locked in on the Dominator is full health, and you're still pocketing a. Yeah. It's just like, it's bad positioning at the end of the day, because I think because you're playing so close to the front line with your tank, you're just lacking awareness of what's happening on these side fights. And like, one of the key strengths of Anna is the ability to contribute to side fight, both with healing and damage, because you have no fall off on your healing or your damage. And you have infinite range. Like, if you can see it, you can shoot it, right? So yeah, it's not great. We might only watch like a couple more fights, because I feel like this has already been going for maybe like 15 minutes. We threw out a sleep dart again. It's kind of wasted. I do feel like we're just going to see the same, and we waste our cooldown again. So, sorry, I'm trying to say, I think we're just going to see the same thing over and over again. But like, so we waste a sleep dart and we waste a nade. It's a wasted nade because even if you're trying to hit the Anran is already backstepping. We can already see that the Anran is moving back behind cover. So like, what does this nade do? Genuinely nothing. Unlike like the very start of the game, where I was like, yeah, if you hit that nade on the Malga, at least you would have backstepped a few meters, and your team might have gotten like that helpful positioning sort of ahead of that sort of. Hang on, go back just so I can really be specific. So the Malga might have backstepped to like here, and that means that your team gets like this section of space now, which is helpful, because then your Dominar can usefully go around this and use this for cover and that sort of thing and poke back at him. Whereas it was sort of the Malga here and the Dominar here, which means that the Dominar has trouble using it, right? But like those nades that you've just done are just completely useless, right? Like they contribute nothing to the team. Ooh. All right, how do we get to that situation? Were we just too slow with the nano? You're sort of looking at him like, I'm ready to go. Yeah, okay. I guess like he dashes up, and he dashes behind a wall so you can't see him. Is this another thing that could be fixed with positioning? I mean, potentially, like, playing from here isn't terrible. Obviously, if you were here, you'd be able to see him, but then you'd also be getting shot in the back by an Emre. So I think your positioning is okay. Maybe it's just like a coordination or communication thing, but even with what I assume is you potentially dying here, I feel like your Genji is probably going to clutch this regardless, and you actually live. Oh, Dominar saves you, yeah. Dominar essentially saves your life with ult there, because the Malga can't follow up and shoot you. I feel like sleeping this Malga would be good. Yeah, cool. no huge rush. Got nade in a second, easy, very easy cleanup. Yeah. I feel like we need to walk into this. Yep. Sleep in again. Cool. I mean, everything else here has been fine. Like, I think obviously you should be praising your Domina for saving you there, but I don't think that there's anything, like we're 100% dead without the Domina ult, but Domina gets it off. We don't overextend, we don't go too far forward. I mean, it's a little bit risky to play from here, right? But I guess you've got your sleep dart back up, which is lucky. If you didn't have it, I think, again, you probably die there. But we hit the sleep dart, we hit the nade, and then it's sort of curtains after that. We're pretty slow to react to this Enran, but again, I'm assuming that you're like 30 or something, so you're not a young fella anymore. Everything else is fine. I mean, Nanoblade wins the team fight. More news at 11. Nice. Always shoot the AFK supports when they're typing. The sleep dart's good. I think this is a good one. Because although he was about to backstep, you have such a huge player advantage that it doesn't matter. It's just buying your team more ult charge. Even though you didn't kill him, I think your team just got another 300 health worth of ult charge, which is nice. I feel like I don't like you peeking around so aggressively. Do you really think that your 70 damage is gonna kill the Malga? And I feel like that's your fault that Genji dies. Yeah, I mean, we have 2 shots left. And again, we're not looking at our Genji, and that's why he dies. And the reason we're not looking at the Genji is because we're playing too far forward, and we're thinking to ourselves, the Malga's half health, and we're like, what if I just got one more shot off onto the Malga? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you get one more shot off to the Malga. What mattered is helping your team, keeping your carry up. Genji's established that he's probably the best player in your team. Did we just sleep dart then? We did. Why did we sleep dart? Nah, that's a terrible sleep dart. You've just lost a teammate. You know that what's coming next is going to be aggression from the enemy team, right? They want to capitalize on this opportunity that they've created by picking the Genji, and that you've helped them create by not healing the Genji. So one, I think you not backstepping here is crazy. You're holding your ground, right? You can heal the brig and walk backwards, right? You can walk this way, heal the brig, and start creating distance, but you're way too far forward. You're way too far forward. This whole fight, you should have been playing from back here, right? Pretty much right here, and then you can juke left. Or I guess if you prefer, you can play from this angle, but this angle sort of lets you get some damage in between healing shots, and you can always juke back around here, right? But you not backstepping here is actually mental. And then you've wasted yet another sleep dart. You get charged. You don't have a sleep dart to follow up, or to try and put some space between you and the enemy by sleeping the Malga or sleeping the Anran or something like that. So yeah, your team just kind of dies. And they get the point. So it's a team game, it's 5v5 experience, but I think that from what I'm seeing from the rest of your team, you were probably the key fault point there. I think better positioning, better awareness, better cooldown usage, and of course healing a Genji all would have been good. This is good. I'm really glad to see that you're actually reacting to this and deciding to heal your Genji. Your Genji's going pretty deep, but he did just get healed twice, so I assume, yeah, that's your Genji's fault for, I think, going a bit too deep. He did get a heal from you and a pack from Brig, so maybe the Genji assumed that his team is closer behind him than what he is, than what you guys are, but obviously he was wrong in that assumption. I feel like that nade, unlike most of the others where I've been you're throwing it out too early, it's pointless, actually a good nade, because there's no team fight that's going to happen in the next 12 seconds because they're just moving to the point and your team is currently not able to take a team fight because you're down a Genji, right? We're just going to watch this one last fight because it'll be interesting to see you guys on the attack against this choke. All right, so straight away, we're playing too close again. We don't need to be this close. They've just used a Ray, and ordinarily I'd say like fucking terrible Ray. Like we just fucking walk back from this, but you're actually like pretty invested in this. Can you clutch it out? You're walking into the orbital Ray, but I guess like your positioning hasn't left you many opportunities, right? Because you can either stand under an M-Ray ult or you can walk into a Malga. And again, like if we're positioning a bit better, to be honest, like we're probably not walking past, like your Domino was sort of between these two objects. To be honest, you're probably like a bit more back here, right? A bit more back here. And then as your Domino walks, you walk. You could have even just like been slightly further back like here, and then you could have de-peaked both the Ray and the M-Ray ult by like juking to the right a bit until you start seeing the enemy, and then if the M-Ray wants to get you, it's a bit harder, but yeah, it's just like you're just too far forward, way too far forward. All right, so despite them dumping ults and terrible positioning, bummer. I was going to say it actually looks winnable, but again, because you're just like in the midst of it, you can't react to a Malga charging you. The Malga is currently inside a Domino ult, and your M-Rays obviously traded their M-Ray despite their M-Ray being an ult. So if you weren't so far forward right now, your team wins this fight. Your team is probably still going to win the fight. I think Genji might be able to, get value. There's the M-Ray flank. I'm just curious how your team plays this. Nah. Oh, the Brig ult's a bit tragic. I don't feel this is winnable for your team. Nah. Your team did really good. Oh, almost. Yeah, okay. You managed to get back and get the nano off, which is great. Like your team had to like really play that smart. And maybe the rally was a good investment in the end, but like it's kind of again your fault that fight was as hard as it needed to be because of your like really poor positioning. It's still the same fight, so technically we'll keep watching it. I do like that sleep. That's a good sleep. That's a great sleep. Well done. It's a sleep that can be followed up on, right? It's not a player that's already backstepping, and it's not a full health tank. Like, yes, you're about to get charged by a Malga, but I feel it was worth it. I feel like it was worth the principle of killing them. But it's obviously looking pretty tough for your team now. I mean, I could criticize you for playing too far forward here, but I think if you're not far forward, you don't get the pick on the Juno anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I guess the Juno gets res, so at the end of the day, maybe when you came back into this fight and you hit the nano, you shouldn't have walked straight into the enemy team, right? I mean, you would know that the enemy team is to your right because you've just scouted like half of them there. Like, you know that there's a fight happening there. All right, so we walk in. We nano our Domino, which is fair and reasonable. Yeah, and I think instead of taking this pathway, again, it's just like it all comes back to positioning for you. Instead of taking this pathway where we know that we're probably going to end up like right here, and we know that the enemy team is going to be there, I suppose, even though we probably wouldn't have killed the Juno, when you walked in and hit the nano, you could have rotated this way, and as you're walking, you can still see them, so you can shoot, heal, shoot, heal, get to here, and get to a really safe positioning. Again, we're just playing on top of our Domino all the time, and we just keep getting stomped by Malga, right? Like, I don't know how many times we've been stomped by Malga this game, but it feels like way too many, given that we're on Ana, right? I think we'll wrap it up there. I think that's like plenty of examples of where your issues are and what you need to work on. Hopefully this helps. Good luck.